CBT News on location in Las Vegas for the 2020 NADA show.
John, for some of the people that haven't made it out to the NADA convention that are watching us right now, what are some of the things, what are some of the buzzwords that you hear going on? What do dealers want to see?
Yeah, so they've built their businesses for years on sight, sound, and motion.
Right.
And they're understanding now that the way consumers are interacting with their brand is different. It's changed in the way of the device that they find them on and the way in which they go through their path to purchase. And
that's for sure.
We are bringing back to light that sight, sound, and motion works, but you've got to get it through the right channel.
Okay.
It's got to be omni-channel.
Okay.
And what we mean by omni-channel is delivering the same experience across multiple channels to different audience segments of
And when
your
you say
local
sight,
market.
sound, and motion, you're talking about video.
Talking about video.
Talking
There we
about
go,
video.
right? So forever it's been linear TV and linear radio that they've been able to push that message out.
Right.
We've developed a product called Drive, which is automated dynamic video. And kind of our special angle is we've built the channels to YouTube, to Facebook, and to CTV and OTT, and other programmatic networks, so that when you've identified an in-market shopper, you can then deploy video directly to those consumers in an omni-channel way.
So unlike TV, where it's kind of a spray and pray, I'm going to buy the 10 o'clock news and hope that there's a car buyer out there watching the 10 o'clock news to buy my Chevy, that we're selling at our dealership. This is much more specific. Talk about that.
Much more specific. So we've found the best data partners, in the area. And we've really leaned into our original approach was focusing on the dealer's first-party data and our connectivity to the DMS. Thanks to Helix Technologies, a company that we started, which is SaaS-based business all around taking the data that's within a DMS and a CRM and making that data actionable. And reporting on that so that they can drive that cost of their advertising expense down by cutting out the waste and getting more direct. So
which is what every dealer wants to do.
That's right. So that system has allowed us to develop products like Drive, where we can now deliver against that audience.
Sure.
So it's really important.
What should a dealer, in your estimation, if a dealer says to you, John, I'm a Chevy dealer outside of a metro, what should I be spending on advertising per car?
Well, so, we want to dive into their market, right? Every market does have differences. There's no doubt about it. We want to look at their inventory. We want to look at how much they've been spending, cost per unit. And then we want to really give them a good understanding of what it should be in that area. But just to give you roundabout numbers, NADA has shared forever that the average cost per unit sold is about $608. Now what that study, we really dove into that study. What that study does, though, however, is it analyzes the total spend only against new car output.
Really?
So the used cars are not taken into consideration on that. So when you go into the numbers, the real number is about $356 cost per unit, new and used, on total ad spend.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
So if you think about, it's really $356.
So
if you take the $356 and you look at our average CPU, which is very important to us, because everything we talk about with our dealers is about the outcome. How are we increasing market share on new? What is their CPO strategy, and how are we increasing that? Retention rate and service. We want to talk to the dealers about what matters most to them, which is the outcomes they're looking for. And so when you think about the way we're interacting with dealers, it's quite different than what they're used to. And so back to that $356 per car that the NAD average, our average CPU on the about 900 rooftops now that we're working with nationwide.
900.
Yep. Team's done a phenomenal job of growing the business.
So you really, from your perspective, you have a very unique position, because you're knowing what's working and what's not working and what those numbers should be for dealers.
That's right. And then pulling those levers all day, right? Because I don't care how good your technology is. You got to have good lever pullers, right? As our great client Rachel Richards tells us at Sonic. Got to have those good lever pullers that can communicate what you're doing well. And make sure that everyone's using the technology properly. But back to your 356, that really is what NADA should be representing. Because new and used is all part of it. I don't think there's anybody that's just spending dollars against new.
No, absolutely not.
Used is important. And so our 900 clients are seeing an average of under $200 cost per unit.
Wow.
So if you think about that and you put that into the metrics of your business.
And that difference, that other $150 goes right to the bottom line.
It should.
Yeah, it should. That's exactly right.
Forever we've talked about the three-legged stool of a dealer and their costs and how they're, important to the business.
That's right.
Inventory, people,
that's right,
and advertising.
That's right.
We think we can help advertising.
Right.
And here's another thing. We think we can help inventory.
Okay.
Because if we're turning the vehicles faster, that's going to save the dealer money.
There's no question.
If we are bringing in the right trade-ins, because we're very pinpoint in who we're targeting,
that's a good point.
Now they're spending less money to go find the vehicles.
Yep.
And so we think not only are we helping drive down the cost of advertising, we're helping with the inventory component.
You might also be helping with the people aspect, because if you're driving more leads to that dealership that are more qualified ups, guess where the salespeople want to work?
There you go. I like that. So we're helping in all three.
That's exactly right.
Because you're absolutely right? I mean, if an operation, a dealership operation that is running and gunning, has less turnover, there's no doubt.
That's right.
Than one that's poorly managed.
Absolutely.
And so, I guess we are in a way.
Yeah. You mentioned, we have you on CBT all the time, and you mentioned the last time that you actually handle 4 of the top 7 publicly traded companies. That's pretty cool for one marketing company to be in with 4 out of the top 7. Are you shooting for the other 3?
Yeah, I mean, look, why not? Look, here's the thing about that. The big names are all great to kind of say, hey, we work with this group and we work with that group. But here's behind that, what's special is those organizations make us better.
Yeah.
They tell us what the tech needs to do.
Right.
They tell us the feedback from the showroom that we don't get.
Right.
The data will only tell you so much.
Right.
The GM dealer partners at Berkshire Hathaway, the corporate team at Sonic, Lithia, who's now, we're really growing the Lithia relationship.
Yeah, that's
and then,
great.
By the way, all of the other clients that we have across the country that have 10 stores or 5 stores or whatever it might be, I love when they challenge us.
Yeah.
Because it makes us better.
Sure, of course.
It absolutely makes us better, makes our partnership better.
Of course.
And we just can't say enough good things
What
about it.
do you say to the dealer that walks up to you here at the show today and says, John, if you had to focus on 1 or 2 things in 2020 with regard to the marketing at my dealership, what should I be focused on?
Well, I think it goes back to the big push we have with our Drive product. We created the Drive product because when we took a look at the supply and demand curve against consumers and the way they were shopping, they are consuming video at an alarming rate across all of these channels. 97%, Oracle told us, IHS backed it, about 97% of consumers are utilizing video to make their buying decision across that 90-day or 45-day path to purchase. Right. But only 3 to 4% of dealers have an active video strategy against that 97% audience.
That's crazy.
So the supply and demand is way off.
Right.
So those dollars that you could invest, and we look at marketing as an investment, is absolutely geared towards taking advantage of that in 2020 and 2021. Now, everybody floods it. It's going to change the curve, and it'll be costly. But for right now, we can't preach it enough. Right? The consumers are driving the behavior that video dynamically that gives you scale, that will allow you to have essentially a video for every inventory on your lot, every piece of inventory on your lot.
Very cool.
That's an important piece of your, and you need to be focused on that.
And your company does that.
That's what we do.
Okay. Wow.
And the other thing we're doing is we understand that, look, we've invested a lot of money behind this over the last 5 years. We've also looked at the other agency, competitive landscape that maybe hasn't made that investment. We want them to partner with us, utilize the technology. We've got partnership arrangements. Right now we have over 15 agencies reselling the Drive product. And it's making their relationships better. Keep your relationships where they are, right? Now, if you're working with Force Marketing, we've also been a leader in paid search and Facebook advertising, display and retargeting. Mail and email has been a component, foundation of our business. So when you really think about an omni-channel approach against these audiences, we think we've got a really good opportunity to partner in a dynamic way with dealers that they might not currently be getting.
Right. We spoke to one of your clients that was here at the NADA convention just before we went on here to kind of get a feel for how you're servicing them, and they said they were actually able to do away with 3 other marketing vendors because you guys handled it all. Have you found that to be the case with the other clients?
Yeah. The average dealer's working with 14. On average, some are more marketing partners.
Oh my gosh.
That's 14 different conversations in a
14
30-day span. 14 different strategies.
Right.
I mean, how can you possibly be effective with your ad dollars?
That's right.
With 14 different strategies.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's just, we've got to do a better job in this industry from a vendor to dealer relationship of working together on the vendor side so that they can sell cars, right? And we need to help them do that at a more cost-effective way. And ultimately, we believe at Force, if we can make the dealer to customer shopping experience better,
right,
the shopping experience will make the buying experience better.
Yeah.
And we'll have great relationships for a long time.
Right, which then leads to a happier customer.
That's right.
With better reviews. It leads to a happier salesperson.
That's right.
Which also reduces the turnover in the sales department as well. And it's also going to bring that customer back for service. You know, if a customer's not happy in the showroom, they're not coming back to the service center.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, no question about it. John Fitzpatrick, President and CEO of Force Marketing. For dealers that are listening to us have this discussion, guess what? Video is alive and well, and it's back in a big way. So long as you do it right, John at Force Marketing's got the answer for that and the solution. So check out Force Marketing at forcemarketing.com, right?
That's right.
Yeah, fantastic. If you want to call John direct, I'm sure that you'd be happy to give that dealer an analysis
of
what they're currently doing and how you can help them. No obligation, right?
Absolutely. We've got a great team, so whether it's me or anybody on the team, they do a phenomenal job.
And 15 years of experience, so
there we go.
Nobody knows it better. John, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, absolutely.
Thanks for what you're doing with the industry.
And thanks for partnering with us here at the NADA convention. It's always great. Thanks.
Thank you.